Playing support in Overwatch 2 is completely different to Overwatch 1, and a lot of players are not happy with this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. So in this video, what I'm going to do is break down all of the supports in the current beta, and we need to talk about this because there's a very distinct playstyle change, and there's a number of reasons why this has happened. And there are a number of supports that are very, very strong because there is actually a really huge buff to supports, certain supports anyway, and I'm looking at you, Brig and Moira, in the beta with the current changes to the role passive. Okay, let's do this. So the first things we need to be aware of, there's one less tank per team. This means you just don't have as much peel. Like there's less protection for you simply by that. Like it's just simple. It's like there's less tanks, less protection. You've got to look after yourself. Now that means if you pick supports that have getaway mechanics, just like what I use there, Fade, I can get out of trouble myself. I can look after myself. Yes, relying on your team to look after you is an option, but it's, you know, it's a bit more easier if you can look after yourself by literally pressing a button. That's really strong. The reduction of crowd control. Now, this is a overall positive for the game. CC effects are terrible to play against, but they had a role in Overwatch 1, and you could see where they were kind of balancing around them. I mean, look at Fade here. Like, the way I could just even keep myself alive. They're good anti-nade by the Ana, but I was able to keep myself alive much longer than if I was playing any other support in that position. But yeah, crowd control. So with less crowd control means it's easier for DPS to do what they need to do. And when we look at the roles and the way they've changed in Overwatch 2, tanks have been supercharged and had tons of awesome reworks, so they're very attractive to play. DPS, there's a new DPS hero. There's a bunch of DPS kind of mini reworks and balance changes, but DPS now move 10% faster, so they feel way better to play. And because there's one less tank, you guessed it, you're not firing into barriers. You're actually shooting people, and guess what? They die when you shoot them. And of course, with less crowd control, it means it's easier to flank. You can flank, and you're not going to get the Cassidy with a flashbang. No, because now he's got a magnetic grenade. And there's a bunch of other examples as well, like Brig. Brig doesn't have a stun anymore, so you're not just going to get stunned by Brig and instantly killed if you want to flank. No, you can actually play the game. But what this means is supports end up in this scenario where they are very vulnerable. And in my head, supports have, you know, they've got a few things they need to do now. So you need to obviously keep yourself alive. You need to be very aware of your positioning, the enemy team's positioning, and your team's positioning. You need to focus on healing output. You need to focus on peeling for the other support. There's loads of things you need to do. You need to track enemy ultimates. You need to track enemy abilities. You just need to be hyper aware. And in Overwatch 1, yeah, sure, if you did all of that, you'd be an awesome player. But there was an element of like, you know what? I can chill. You know, I can sort of, it's fine. I can do what I need to do. I mean, here I'm going to use Coalescence on Soldier and kill him, and then I'm going to go and kill the Ashe. I've killed both their DPS here, and I'm a support. That's actually pretty good value. I think you'd say, right? What the hell is going on there? That's sure other supports could do that. But the fact I could just pop Coalescence, and it made me invincible effectively, and I could do that, very strong. Also there, Orisa got me in her ultimate, and I was able to just fade away out of the fight. Moira is an S tier support, and the reason for that is she's hyper survivable. She's got massive healing output. She's got good damage output, so she, again, can deal with being flanked in a number of ways, because she can heal herself, she can run away, blah, blah, blah. But you know what the big thing with Moira is? The 15 heal per second or health per second passive, it actually triggers when you use Fade. So if you use Fade, you go out of combat. So enough time passes that the passive kicks in, and then you start healing. So you effectively start healing yourself after you've used Fade. So you're super survivable. And Brig's also got an interesting component with that, which we'll get onto in a second. Because now I want to talk about Baptiste. And I think Baptiste is actually kind of okay. Like, Baptiste to me is similar to Ana. I think Ana is still better than Baptiste, simply because Ana has got massive anti-nade potential now. Nothing will stop your anti-nade unless they've got a D.Va or an Orisa. But it's kind of obvious where they are, and it's kind of obvious when D.Vas use the spin. When Orisa's use the spin, so you just throw your grenade in, and that is fight-winning. Just, it is absolutely fight-winning. But we'll get onto that when we move on to Ana, because for now we want to talk about Baptiste. So you may have noticed I used Baptiste window defensively a little bit earlier on in this clip to get the extra healing output. And that's kind of, you know, that's what Baptiste is about. His healing output is huge. His survivability is good through Lamp. His damage output is okay, so he can deal with people trying to, you know, flank him, pressure him. He's got options. He isn't just stuck. He isn't like, he's kind of got a bite to him, right? I still think Ana's better, and I still think Baptiste is okay. I don't think he's terrible. You know, you can still get a lot of value with Baptiste. But in this new world of you need to be aware of your other support, you need to be aware of what the enemy DPS are doing, and you have one less tank, so you're more vulnerable. Being able to defend yourself in any kind of effective way as a support is very, very strong. So I think Baptiste, like, I think he's okay. You know, if I was making a tier list, I'd say he's kind of B tier at the moment. He's got options. He can do stuff. But you know what really gets me with the supports is when you look at tanks and DPS have been radically changed. Supports have literally been given, well, a passive that just heals them 15 health per second when they're out of combat. It's kind of boring. Okay, let's move on to Brig. Now, I firmly believe Brig is a bit of a... Well, I think she's a bit of a sleeper pick at the moment. I think she's S tier. I think she's absolutely incredibly powerful. Now, this might be amplified by the maps that we're playing on and the fact there's a lot of flanky routes. You can see on Colosseo here, loads of flanks. DPS are going to be up in your grill. You know, it's going to be a bad time. But if you play Brig, well, by Brig's very nature, you're pretty tanky. You can make sure you keep Inspire active. I like to go for Whip Shot just to keep that active. Any kind of damage I can do just to keep Inspire going. It's super strong. Look at the healing output. It's great. The thing with Brig, though, and this is the huge thing with Brig, Brig regenerates her armor through her passive, and she can trigger her passive by bringing up her barrier. So if you are in combat and you're taking damage to your health, oh no, I need to heal myself. Maybe Inspire, you know, needs a bit of assistance. Maybe you don't have Inspire active. I don't know. All you do is bring up your barrier, because damage to the barrier does not interrupt the cooldown timer on your passive. So your passive will kick in and you will start healing yourself. In one-on-one scenarios, so if you've got like a Tracer against you, you can be very clever with your shields. You can be using it to regenerate your health. It is mega powerful. Like, she is incredibly powerful. And in this new world of Overwatch 2, having Brig as this bodyguard on the back line, and please, player on the back line, do not run into the front line with this Brig. I think a lot of players look at Brig and think, oh yeah, she's this super tanky character, I'm going to run in. No, no, no. Use her on the back line. Think of her like, I don't know, like a holy paladin from World of Warcraft. You want to be on the back line, right? You want to be keeping your team alive. And crucially, you want to be keeping your other support alive. And I think this is where a lot of her power level it does reside. If you've got an Ana and you're playing Brig, just literally play bodyguard on the Brig, on the Ana, sorry, as the Brig. The value you will give your team is incredible, because it will stop the enemy support killing the Ana super quick. It doesn't even have to be Ana. It can be any other support, right? You can literally babysit them. And she's so powerful for that. And of course, Brig won't instantly die to a sniper shot if she's got a barrier up, you know? If she's got that down and gets shot in the head, then sure, you know, she might do. Anyway, let's move on to the next hero. Let's move on to Zen. So we go from S tier down to pretty much bottom tier in terms of support. Now, Zen is fun to play. I absolutely love Zen. And you can still get stuff done with Zen. Discord in this game is mega powerful, but I'm not sure the trade-off is worth it. I'm not sure having to be like absolutely hyped out of your mind, keeping track of where your healing is, where your Discord is, what the damage you're doing. Am I being flanked? Oh my god, do I need heals? What the hell's going on? Do I need my trance ready? I'm not sure the trade-off is actually worth it for the Discord when you could just play a Moira, right? Because if I was playing Moira in this game with the Mercy, our healing output would be huge. Oh, by the way, Phil, it is Stylosa. I don't think I noticed you in the game. I'm ever so sorry. But the healing output would be incredible if it was Moira Mercy, or even if I was Ana Mercy or Baptiste Mercy. Zen Mercy, well, we've got a huge damage buff because obviously we've got Discord. But the trade-off for that is, yeah, okay, I'm Zen, I'm doing damage. And the cool thing about Zen is the damage always seems to be equal to the healing, provided you're always kind of doing damage. It's like a cool little statistical thing you'll notice on the scoreboard with Zen. It's really cool. But the trade-off is, I have no survivability. And in this world, one of the key... Well, this brave new world of Overwatch 2, one of the key things is you need survivability as a support. You need some sort of inherent survivability. And if you don't have that, you are going to suffer. And Zen's survivability is the most difficult out of all of the supports to use, because it relies on you killing whoever the hell is trying to kill you. And that's difficult. That is like, yeah, you're sure if you can do it, great value, but it is very feast or famine. Whereas you could just be Moira. And, you know, and I'm talking the same player on Moira, not like one's a Zen god, lands in all the shots, and Moira, you know, maybe misses or he's not great or whatever, or you can't play Moira. No, I'm talking about the same player literally moving over to a Moira would be more effective in that scenario. So I got killed there as Zen, which is unlucky. Mercy tried to res me. She got killed by the Widow, which as well, this is another thing we need to talk about. There's like so many topics we need to talk about because the changes to the game are absolutely huge. Even though it kind of looks the same, the gameplay is totally different. I think we could be going into a sniper meta. Widow is so effective when there's nothing to deal with Widow. If the tank on the enemy team is not something with mobility, just one of your DPS needs to play Widow. They will annihilate the enemy team. And this goes to playstyle changes for DPS as well. If you're playing DPS, don't even bother shooting the tanks. Just forget the tanks, right? Unless they're low health or for some reason you want to burn them down. Just kill the enemy support line. Literally focus on them all the time. And you'll win fight after fight after fight because the value is incredible. You know, and it's always been incredible. You get a pick on a support. It's huge, right? It's huge for the team. So yeah, DPS, just focus on supports. Now, this is not great for supports, and maybe in a video where we're talking about supports, we shouldn't be telling DPS to just kill us. But this goes back to the changes. It goes back to tank feeling really, really fun because it's got all these changes and you're supercharged, mega buffed. DPS, all these changes, moves faster, less tanks, less stuns. They just feel better all around to play. And then you've got support. And support is this role which kind of did need stuns to help them, kind of did need another tank to peel for them and help them. And now it's like support's just left to... Well, there's nowhere to hide on support now. And is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. I want you guys to answer that question. Do you think that's good or bad? I think in some scenarios it's great. In some scenarios it can be not great. Because I think there's a lot of times where you can play great as support and then just die anyway. Like, it doesn't matter. You're dead. You can't really outplay just being killed from across the map, you know? But then you could say, okay, well, I've been killed from across the map. Maybe my positioning was wrong. Maybe it was just skill from the enemy and skill should be rewarded. You know, there's a lot of things. Anyway, I want to talk about Mercy because I think Mercy is a very, very good pick. I don't think she's S tier. If I was making a tier list, I'd say she's A tier. And this is because of her mobility. Now, Mercy really benefits from the role passive because it adds to her existing passive. So she's actually got more healing than all of the other supports to herself when the role passive kicks in, which is really good. But the main thing for Mercy is the survivability, is the mobility. Look at that. I was trapped on the low ground there. I would have been killed. My soldier peeks for me. I can Guardian Angel to him. I'm away. I'm still in the fight. Let's go. We go again. Of course, damage boost as well is really powerful, and even more powerful in this world because there's less tanks. So soldier obviously is a great target to use damage boost on because he's just going to be able to fire, hopefully, into the enemy, register tons of damage, charge his ultimate, tac visor is almost an instant win in every fight. Resurrect is a crazy powerful ability and always has been. Mercy's really, really strong. But you know what? This Overwatch 2 game relies on hyper awareness of the whole situation, what the enemy are doing, what your team are doing. Supreme positional knowledge, that is required. And you know what? People in the past have gone, Mercy's an easy hero to play. She's never been easy. Anyone who said that is a complete idiot. And if I've ever said that on record, I'm an absolute idiot. I don't think I ever have. But Mercy requires a different skill set. Mercy requires a different type of tactical brain. Now, though, in Overwatch 2, Mercy can really shine because you need this even more. You need to be hyper aware of everything that's going on. Like, look at me here. There's a Sojourn there. She's going to destroy me. I need to get out of there. So I can get away. I can use Guardian Angel, but I need to keep my tank alive. I got a bit confused because it was actually Tracer, but I went in. I can come back out. Look, I'm still alive. I'm back in. I'm out. I'm in. I'm out. I'm trying to keep the front line alive. I'm trying to keep my eyes on the back line. There's so many things I'm doing in this game. And this is what Mercy players have kind of been doing for years anyway. So I think they naturally do kind of fit into the Overwatch 2 world. But what is sad about what is happening at the moment is supports are feeling... they are the left out role in the game. They're the most highly pressured role. They are the role that's about to get charged by Reinhardt as you go for a crazy res. They are the role that has not really had any like super interesting changes. If you've got access to the beta and you try and queue as anything other than support, you'll have a long queue time. Support is now the tank of Overwatch 2, like it was in Overwatch 1, you know, where you had long queue times because people just did not want to play it. And honestly, I think that is because you are the target. The tanks want to kill you. The DPS want to kill you. Probably the supports want to kill you, right? It's like, it's bad. Anyway, let's talk about a support who is absolutely S tier. And literally this game, I think what Blizzard have done is they looked at Lucio and went, let's make a game for Lucio. And that's what they've done. And Moira. Lucio and Moira's Funhouse, because that's what Overwatch 2 is, right? Lucio is incredible. If you want to channel complete Reddit Lucio and go in, dive the back line, hell, let's 1v1 the supports, because the DPS, because who cares, right? You can win these. You can win them. Let's just do it. Let's take them. Think of the value. Think of the level of value if you've got a support that can kill DPS and do it almost reliably, and is so survivable that they're not going to die themselves, and has a speed boost, and has a really great ultimate, and has AoE healing. This is like a recipe for just... I wish I was better than Lucio, or better at Lucio. That's what this is a recipe for me. But if you're a god tier Lucio, you are going to love this because, yeah, sure, you do need to be a little bit more aware of your backline. You do need to peel for your supports. But I mean, look at that, actually. That was a great example. That was a really great example. I was totally out of position. Like, what was it? I was feeding my brains out there, but it don't matter because I'm Lucio. I can just disengage. And that's where a lot of power level is residing in this hero. Super survivable, can take duels, great ultimate. The game is literally made for Lucio. Okay, let's move on to Ana. Now, Ana is an interesting one to me, and I think Ana has got great power at the moment, but also huge vulnerability. So her power pretty much resides in anti-nade. There is nothing to counter anti-nade. You can throw this in, and it will win fight after fight after fight after fight. And if your Anas regularly land anti-nades on the enemy, you just win. It's incredibly powerful. Of course, there's a trade-off for this, and the trade-off is you are very vulnerable, and it is very stressful as Ana. In fact, you know, maybe this is me getting old, I don't know, but I found myself, after I play a few games of Ana, I really need a rest. It's like, okay, I need to go and play Moira now, because I know I can do just as well on Moira, and it's way less stressful, because Ana is like, oh my god, I've got to land my shots, I've got to keep people alive. I mean, look, Widow's killed both of my DPS here. Again, reinforcing the whole thing of, I think Widow's pretty good. I think Widow is actually mental. But look, Lucio's come to 1v1 me. Now, I should have run away here. As soon as two players were dead, I should have just been like, right, I'm getting out of here. But I stayed in there because I'm thinking, okay, let's try and keep the point alive as long as we can. But it doesn't matter because the Lucio just found me. The DPS found me. I'm completely harassed. The only option I've got is I land a sleep on them. Maybe I can get out. Or I anti-nade them and land a bunch of primary fires and kill them. Again, it's very difficult to pull that off, though. It's obviously a lot easier to just throw Lamp down as Baptiste or to self-heal as Baptiste or, to, I don't know, maybe jump and shoot them. Maybe that's on par with Ana. Moira, again, is the best example. You just press one button and you fade away. You can even heal yourself. You can damage them and heal yourself. Mercy can Guardian Angel away. I think what's happened is we've got a few things going on at the moment in the game. We've got a select map pool. So Ana and Zen and, you know, maybe Baptiste and more lower tier supports at the moment, maybe they get more value if they were playing on different maps. Although Ana does have a lot of support, so I really don't want to sit a lot of value. Sorry, I don't want to sit here and go Ana is some low tier support and she's terrible, because she's not. Because anti-nade is really powerful. You know, Brig's really powerful as well. Baptiste can be super powerful as well. But there is a very clear hierarchy of supports, and if I was to list them out, it would be Moira is number one by an absolute country mile. Then you've got Lucio, who is very close to Moira, and then you would probably go into, I don't know, I'd probably say Mercy. Oh, no, sorry, Brig. Oh my god, I totally forgot about Brig. Lucio, Brig, Moira, they are top tier, absolute top tier. Then you're into sort of Mercy, Ana, Brig, and then Zen at the bottom. That is your support tier list, effectively, at the moment. And it's just because of the way the game has changed. It's because you now have to be self-sufficient while also healing your team, while also being aware of everything else that's going on. And the supports that are not as good or as reliable as keeping themselves alive and also looking after their other support, they really suffer in the game. So what can Blizzard do to fix this, and will they make changes? Well, they already have made changes. So in the alpha, the support passive was only 10 health per second. It's now 15. Now, there is some argument that that might actually be too much. And I would like to kind of think that, yes, supports do need self-heal, but self-heal is kind of like, it's a crap band-aid fix to some supports, and it just doesn't feel great. You know, I look at Mercy and I think, what does Mercy miss in her kit? Mercy doesn't have any kind of burst heal. I'd love it. And I've always been an advocate for this. I would love it if Mercy had some sort of healing pulse. She could like burst out of a staff that's like some sort of rapid heal. Because a lot of the other supports have got, like Ana's got burst healing. Batista's got burst healing. Moira's got burst healing. Mercy doesn't, but she's got high mobility. But then Moira's also got good mobility. So you see what I mean, guys? There's loads of gaps in the way the sort of supports feel at the moment. And I think there is a very good argument for reworks to hit supports, and maybe Blizzard have got that planned in the future. I don't know. I hope this video has been informative, though, guys, because this is kind of in my sort of advanced thoughts on support, the way it's going at the moment in Overwatch 2. And it is definitely the most stressful role. It is probably by a lot of people's estimation, the worst role in the game right now. All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. I've been Stylosa. You can catch me on everything which is at Stylosa, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodaloo.